No, dude.
Alright, look. We've all been there. You're playing your favorite shooter, you have the drop on someone, and you still lose the fight. You check the scoreboard, you're at the bottom, and you're convinced everyone else is a sweat or a cheater. But here's the reality. You're probably hitting a wall because you're treating the game like a hobby, and they're treating it like a skill. Aiming is only about 30% of the battle. The rest, it's settings, movement, and how to use your brain. If you actually apply these, I promise you'll see a difference in your gameplay in less than a week. Look, we have to start with the boring stuff because if your settings are wrong, you're fighting your own hardware. First, graphics. Turn off anything that adds realism but kills clarity, like your motion blur, film grain, depth of field. You also want the highest FPS possible, meaning you should be lowering your graphics settings so you can get more frames per second. Secondly, your mouse. Go into your Windows settings and turn off Enhance Pointer Precision. It sounds like a good thing at first, but it's actually just mouse acceleration, and it's the enemy of muscle memory. You want 1-to-1 physical to screen movement ratio. Consider what games you are playing. Not all shooters are created equal. You need to identify what kind of gun physics your game uses. Does it have predictable recoil pattern like CS2, or is it more about managing bloom like in Fortnite? Can you aim down sights, or is hipfire the meta? Spend 10 minutes in a private lobby just shooting at a wall without moving your mouse. Watch the pattern. If you don't know how the gun moves on its own, you'll never be able to counteract it. This is the biggest mistake I see a lot of the time. Changing your sensitivity every time you have a bad game. You need to stop doing that. Find a comfortable middle ground and stay there. If you play multiple games, you need to use a website like Sensitivity Converter to make sure your 360-degree turn is the same distance on your mousepad in every game. In less than a week, your brain will adapt, and that's when the real muscle memory starts to build. You don't just get better by playing matches. Matches are generally just chaotic. You need isolated practice. I highly recommend getting apps like Kovacs or AimLabs. If your game has a built-in firing range, use that as a warm-up. And don't just practice with the best gun in the game. Get comfortable with a lot of the bad ones too. You won't always have your fully kitted rifle. Aim often gets you the kill, but movement is what keeps you alive. Every game has a rhythm. You need to learn the universal stuff, like slicing the pie when you peek a corner, but also the game-specific stuff. Does your game have slide canceling, bunny hopping, or strafe jumping? Also pay attention to the noise you make. If you're sprinting everywhere, you're basically a walking GPS for the enemy. Learn when to be fast and when to be silent. Crosshair placement. This is the closest thing to a cheat code in gaming. Stop looking at the floor. Your crosshair should always be at head height, glued to the corner you're about to actually turn into. If your placement is perfect, you actually don't even really have to flick to people. They just walk into your bullets. You want to minimize the distance your mouse has to travel to get to the target. If you've hit a plateau, just stop playing for an hour or two and go watch a pro. Don't just look out for their insane shots they make. Analyze their positioning. Notice where they stand, when they reload. Notice how they use cover. Watch what they do when they're outnumbered. You'll realize that the best players in the world aren't just faster than you. They're usually putting themselves in better positions than you. Don't sleep on your utility. Stop dying with a full inventory of grenades and flashes. Utility generally wins games. If you know someone is behind a pillar, don't just ego challenge the gunfight. Flush them out with a frag or a Molotov, or blind them with a flash. The only time you should generally just ignore your utility is in a pure 1v1. The reason for this is that oftentimes you will see people panic and try to switch into their utility while they're in the middle of a 1v1, oftentimes not having their weapon out, thus losing the clutch. Any other time though, you need to use your tools to tilt the odds in your favor.
Oh my god!
Communication is the difference between a winning team and a losing team. You need to stop using vague language like, he's right there, or on my body. That helps no one. Start learning the actual name of the location on the map or using pings if your game allows that. For example, saying he's in library or 2 pushing long gives your teammate a better mental image of the fight.
2 more mid.
Be specific, be brief, and please just stop saying, I can't believe he killed me. Wait till after the round is over. Improvement doesn't happen overnight, but if you actually stick to one sensitivity, train your aim, and stop aiming at people's toes, you're going to see your rank climb.
Oh, I made him rage quit. I made him rage quit. I was dancing on him.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Honestly, all this stuff is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more we could dive into. So if there's something specific you want me to do a deeper dive in, or do you think I missed something entirely, definitely let me know in the comments. I try my best to read every comment, and I'm always trying to give more advice. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, watching the whole video. I really appreciate it. Go get your reps in, and I'll see you guys next time.